Okay, in this video I'm gonna explain something that I found very interesting to add into my game, which is something called Apex Floating Jump. What it does is, instead of going up and down, if I disconnect this, you can see it, it goes up and down, very quickly, very quickly. But when I attach this, it has some sort of floating moment when it reaches its height. So if I go into Paint to explain this to you, what I see here happening is something like this, that you go up and down. But what I really want my gamers to experience is this momentum that you get when you are in the highest height of that jump, where you get some sort of curve. And in animations, this is really a nice way to do transitions, because what you really want to have in your game is this sort of having more time suspended on the air compared to the normally linear way of doing movements in the game. So that when the player goes up and then reaches certain level, it starts floating around instead of just going down again. And when it reaches certain speed going down against when it's going up, then it just falls down again quickly, as it has to do it. So while one way that I found this is to play around with the G axis of my actual linear velocity, and once it's in between these two ranges, which if I can jump now, you're gonna see that the numbers here says 2.5. That means it's going up, and I can check this out when I go frame by frame. My player is going up and these numbers are going down. That means that as it reaches its top, it's starting to activate this force G4, which means it's pushing up my player while gravity is pushing down, but it's less intense how it should drop. That means that this player will get some force to oppose the gravity when it reaches below this speed of going up and this speed of going down. And as you can see here, it's going to reach 0, and that's the moment the player doesn't go up anymore, and now it's going to start going down when this turns to negative. As you can see, it's negative now. It doesn't apply any force anymore, and then it just goes down, and this starts doing anything. And it only happens when it is not grounded, which is a custom event that occurs the moment my player jumps. This is the first feature that I found is very interesting to add into my game. It's very simple to do. You can do it on C# or you can do it in visual scripting the way that I did it. The second option that I found is called variable jump height, which means how much do you jump when you press your button. Normally, you just press once and the player reaches the highest height it can on one tap. It doesn't matter if you hold it, the keybar, in this case the spacebar, and it always reaches that top. But when I connect this logic, what it does is if I tap the spacebar, it does micro jumps, and if I hold it, it jumps bigger. You see, it jumps bigger, and I can do a second jump compared to this one. Can you see? Double jump, small, bigger, and then bigger, bigger. So this gives the option to do more things than just normal jumping, and you combine these two and it's very nice feeling that you get in your game. How did I do this? Well, first I calculate that my player, when it stops, release the key, you know, like one thing is click, another is hold, and then you have the release moment. When I release the spacebar, that's when this triggers this event right here. Then it checks if it's going up. If it's not going up when I release the key, it doesn't matter. Can you see? This turned blue, but this didn't turn blue. That means that when I release that key, it didn't have enough G momentum to actually trigger this timer. And the timer, when it activates, it runs this tick during 1 second to run the next logic. And what it does is I get my velocity on G and multiply it by 0.9. That means that it's getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. That way it doesn't break on instant movement. It just like goes slower until the point that G is not anymore in positive. That means that only reduce the speed on G when it's going up. Once it's going down, let it drop. As you can see, if I do this, let me catch the moment. There. And then what it does, it reduces. As you can see here, it says 0.6. Now it's 0.54. And the next frame is 0.38. And it's going down, down, down until it is no longer going up anymore. And then my player just goes down. Sorry. And I have two events that are pausing this timer. One is when I do a second jump, I don't want to prevent the second jump from jumping because the first one is lowering the G speed. So in this case, when it does a double jump, it stops that timer and resets the things for the next time that I release my spacebar. And the other custom event is called now grounded, is when it reaches the ground. When it reaches the ground, stop this timer. I don't need it anymore. That's in the case that I do just, I don't know, micro jumps or something happens in the game. It's just a safeguard to make this work. So yeah, basically those are the two features that I have done in my game to make it feel more responsive to the things that people do in here, which is pretty fun to add into your game. It is not very complicated. As you can see, I only have these four, I don't know how many notes there are, but you can do this, as I said before, you can do it on C# or do it the visual way that I do, but the logic is still the same. It's how you design your game and what you want the gamer to experience when it's moving your character. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this served you very well, and see you in the next one.